All right. Hello, hello, hello. Just give me a couple of minutes here to get things set up. Say hello so I know who's here. I popped on a couple of minutes early because last time Facebook was giving me grief. All right. We're just going to wait a couple of minutes because I am early. And then I'm going to show you some new products that I got today. These products are called online exclusives. And these products are coming on March 1st. I'm just going to wait a couple more minutes till I see some people pop on here. Say hello. Let me know who is here and who's not. Carol's here. Hello, Carol. Hello, Miss Pamela. All right. We are going to get started. As I was saying, I just need to fix this cord here. Bear with me a sec. There, I think we're okay for the moment. As I was saying, I received some products in the mail today. They're coming on March 1st. They're called online exclusives. If you're one of my customers, you've got this flyer in your order. And this is just a small sampling of what is going to be available on March the 1st. You can visit stampinup.ca/online exclusive on March 1st to see everything. They allowed us to pre-order a few little things, and I have those here to show you today. The first is this gorgeous stamp set. Hello, Michelle. And with it is a coordinating die set. Now, I love these leaves that is in this stamp set because it's something that we haven't had before. If you look at these leaves, they're different from anything that we've had before. And there's two flowers, but look at those fabulous greetings. Cool, eh? All right. And this is the die set. I didn't have time from the time I got home from work today to cut these out, but you're going to see these next week. I promise you I'll be doing some cards with these. But look at these detailed, gorgeous dies. So it cuts out the flowers and the leaves, but it's these that really, really caught me. All right, so that is the Irresistible Blooms. And I also have some coordinating products. They are the Loose Frosted Dots. Now, these are supposed to be a sneak peek of some of the new colors that are coming. And they're also, it's been said, we haven't been told officially, but it's been said that they're going to be bringing back some old colors. If you want my opinion, this looks like Bumblebee Yellow, Pretty in Pink, and I think it was called Tahitian Tide. I think that's, no, maybe not. Tahitian Tide is a new color. Oh, somebody, if you remember the name of this color, please put it in the comments. I can't remember right now, but I think those 3 colors are ones that they're bringing back. And there's 360. They're called loose frosted dots, and they're flat on one side, so you can put them on with a glue dot. And to coordinate with that product, I'm going to take it right out of the bag now that I'm home, is this gorgeous DSP. And I'm going to take a minute and flip through this so that you can actually see it. There is side A. And there's side, oops, I'm lying to you. There's side B. And side A. And side B. Side A. And side B. Look at this one. Isn't that gorgeous? And the reverse. Look at that. So pretty. And the back side. I think this one's probably my favorite. And the back side. Look at that. Gorgeous. And the back side. And some lighter green. And some green and white dots. Ooh, that's pretty. And the back. And the back. And the back. Oh, that's nice too. And the back. And that is called the Hello Irresistible 6x6. You can get the dots, the paper, and the bundle as a suite starting March the 1st. All right, I only purchased one other item, and it is called Basic 3D Embossing Folders. And like I said, I didn't have time when I got home to run these through. It's a 3-pack. And let me see if I can find a piece of cardstock to stick in here so you can actually see these a little better. It's kind of like a hashtag. I'm just waiting for the camera to catch up. There's a delay. Yeah, you can see that a little better now. So that one's kind of like a hashtag. This one here is polka dots. And this one, I think this one's going to be my favorite. Check that out. I think when we do this one, you're going to be able to use the embossed and the debossed side. I think that one's going to be fabulous. I think they're all going to be fabulous if I'm honest. Anyway, that is show and tell for tonight. If you guys have any questions, you know where to find me. Hello, Miss Melanie. You made it. All right. We are going to get messy tonight, my friends. I was sitting here last night thinking, what am I going to do for Facebook Live? I had nothing planned. So we're going to get messy. The items we're going to use tonight are the Stylish Shapes dies, the Split Textures card dies, the Potted Geranium stamp set, and the Love Cats stamp set. Now that's quite a combination. Quite a combination. The inks I chose for tonight are Fresh Freesia, Highland Heather, Real Red, and Garden Green. And I've got my ink blending brushes, I've got some ribbon, and I have my magnetic platform from my old Big Shot. And if you happen to have this, this does fit in the new machine. This was from a few years back when we had the Big Shot. And a silicone mat. So we're going to get started, and we're going to pull our 2 card fronts out of our supplies here, and we're going to work on our 2 card fronts. These are the split texture dies. Okay, we're going to use one of each. And why I am using the magnetic plate, because I'm going to use these dies as a stencil. All right, so if I put this on here, that magnet is going to help that stay in place. So for my first card, I'm going to use this. Carol, would you believe me if I told you this is the first time I've used them? Not a word of a lie. This is the first time I used them. How sad is that? I see you use yours a lot. So I'm pretty pleased with how this card turned out. And as you can see, that's held down there pretty good. So what I'm trying to do here, the idea behind this one, is I want to make a tablecloth. So I'm going to grab the garden green ink, and I'm going to do a tablecloth. Now, if you stick around to the end of the video, you will see 2 more cards that are different than the ones I'm doing right now. And I am just going to use my die as a mask. And I'm just applying ink right over the die with my blending brush. And you can apply as much or as little as you want. And I put Post-it notes above it because I'm trying to make it look like a tablecloth. And we're going to close this up before I create a mess. I should bring this in. I don't know whether any of you have this or have seen this. This is the new blending brush holder that's in the mini catalog. I'm pretty pleased with that as well. All right, we're going to remove these Post-it notes. And now I'm going to lift up this die, and I'm going to stick it way over there because it's all covered in ink. And there is my tablecloth. Now, I need to clean up my mess. I figured it would just be easier to do the 2 card fronts with the ink blending first and get all the mess out of the way. All right, this one I'm going to put on here. I'm going to flip this over because it's damp. And I'm going to flip this one horizontally. And I am going to put this die on like so. Now, this one's going to be a little more tricky, and there's a little fussing involved in this one. So just bear with me while I get these Post-it notes in place. I want this to be a relatively straight line, if I can. There we go. And we're going to just because there's that little wee piece there, we're going to cover that up because, you know, I'd make a mess with it. All right. This one, I'm trying to make it look like a bedspread. That's what I'm aiming for. So we will see how effective that is. No promises. All right, I'm going to pick up some Highland Heather ink. And we are going to blend some ink through those holes. And it moved. Yes, this is messy, but it's worth it in the end, I think. And like I said, you can make your as dark or as light as you like. Now, I've got this all over my fingers because I had to hold on to that die. Let's close this up. And for this one, I'm going to leave the Post-it notes on, but I'm going to remove the die. So there is the pattern on my quilt. Now I'm going to grab a different brush and the fresh freesia ink, and we're going to color the background of our quilt. And I'm just going to leave those Post-it notes in place because I want a straight line. And you'll see why once we get along here. All right, I think that's good enough. I think that's good enough. You ready to reveal the magic? Yes, Melanie, this is right up your alley, isn't it? All right. Let's get this out of the way and get this messy stuff out of the way. Tethered to this headset and I'm getting it all over the place. All right, now we're going to work on one card at a time. So, oh, we have a big gob of ink. Do you see that? All right, good enough. You know what I'm going to do? I am going to mask this off. And I'm going to use another color of green to make this a two-tone tablecloth. And yes, I just thought of doing that right now. Let's go Granny Apple. There, that's going to take some of that whiteness off. I think we would have had too much white if I didn't do that. All right, there is our tablecloth. Now, we need to find the Potted Geraniums stamp set. Should wipe this off. There we go. Let's dry it just a bit. Hi, Kathy. Glad you could join us. All right. So let's pull out some stamps here. and see what we can create. I love that these are photopolymer so that we can see through them. I think I'm going to use my Stamparatus. And that way I can stamp twice if I need to. All right. I am going to stamp that pot in what color? What color shall I use? You know what? I'm going to use a retired color. I am using cinnamon cider. And I know you all have this in your stash because nobody wants to get rid of that. Everybody has kept that. All right, I am going to leave that like that for now, and I'm not going to use that one. There's a two-step to that. I'm not going to use it, and what I'm going to do is I am going to get, no, I'm not going to use that. I am going to get, what color? How about some pale papaya? And I'm just going to touch in here because we're not supposed to mix blends with water-based ink. So I'm just touching here and there just to add a little bit of that pale papaya on there. All right. Yeah, it's those photopolymer stamps, Kathy, they always stick on me, so I just slide the bone folder under and hold the paper. It works. All right, so now we have this fabulous, I don't know if I want that big of a, I don't know. I think I want something lower. Oh, maybe not. Maybe not. All right. I'm going to keep it pretty tight here. And I'm going to get a garden green marker. Maybe, yep. And I am going to color, or attempt to color, the stems. Kind of hard for these old eyes, but we'll see how that turns out. And we're going to have to do that a couple of times, obviously. And well, they're very sticky. Oh no, do you see what I just did? All right, I'll show you after how to fix that. We're going to continue our journey because there's nothing like a live video to make you look like a fool. I shouldn't have gone down that far on the stem, but I'll show you how we can fix that. Not a problem. All right, now we're going to clean that off, and we are going to ink this up in real red. And then I'm going to grab a blender pen, and I'm going to remove the ink from the stems. And hopefully I can see well enough to get it all off. The other alternative to this would be stamping it all in black and then filling the flowers in the problem being with red is that it's hard to see that you got it all off or not because it stains. But we're going to give it a whirl. Well, that didn't work out too very well. Let's move that over. Yeah, that was a disaster. All right. We're going to flip this over. No, we're going to cut a new piece. Let's put this one on the back burner. We'll come back to this one. We're going to go to the one that we already have inked and work on this one. All right. I want this to look like it is a quilt on a bed. And I will show you why. I'm going to bring in a greeting first off that says, "I love hanging out with you." And we are going to flip this plate over so that I can use the other side. And bring in a magnet. Get this lined up. Oops, I need my piece of acetate. Here's another tip for you, Kathy. I don't know whether you've seen this one before. When you put your stamps on here, to make sure that they're straight before you stamp on your paper, stamp down on a piece of acetate. That's just one of the pieces of plastic that come with our stamp sets. And that way you're not ruining your card if it's not straight. Now, I never even took this one off to look. I'm just going to stamp it and see. And as you can see, it shows you where it's going to be placed. You just have to make sure that you do not move your card. And stamp right back down. We'll ink it a couple of times. All right, so far so good. Now, let's take this off here and take this out of the way. If you could see the mess of this craft room. Holy moly. All right, why I wanted this to look like a quilt is because I wanted to stamp a cat laying on the bed. And I'll show you my first card. I did it. but it was difficult. To get that cat right on that line was difficult. So I came up with a solution. I cut the cat out, and we're going to glue the kitty cat right on the edge of the bed. I think that is a much easier solution. If I can get my glue out of the bottle. Yeah, when I saw those dies, this is the one that reminded me of a quilt, and the other one reminded me of a tablecloth. So we're going to go back to that other one. I'm not going to let it win. So now I'm going to lay him right there, hanging off the edge of the bed. Isn't that cute? All right, I have some ribbon. I'm going to go with the black and white check again. I really like this. And actually what I'm going to do is take my paper piercer and lift his tail so that I can put my ribbon underneath. And we're going to need about that much ribbon. And then we're going to need another piece. I'm going to show you another trick, ladies. I don't know if you guys do your ribbon this way or not, but I find it's easy. I'm going to put tape on the back of the ribbon, stretching the ribbon flat as we go. That's not very flat. Let's pull that off and fix the end. Or not. All right. Then just take your bone folder and burnish that. Lay this piece of ribbon where you want your knot to go. Remove the back. And pop this in place where you want it. All right, and now that everything's laying there, and this is actually holding this for me, we can just make a knot. And trim our tails. All right, so far so good, except for I have got myself worked into this little tiny space. Okay, so now I am going to mount this on the Highland Heather that's in our quilt. And it's going to give us that little bit of pop and the coordination, right? Then for the ins, I have just a basic black card base that's crooked. Let's straighten this out. And we're going to put a basic white liner on the inside. And then this guy we're going to put on with dimensionals, because this is really a pretty basic card. Standard card base, this purple layer is 4 by 5 1/4. And then the white is 3 3/4 by 5. So it's nothing fancy when it comes to the pieces of the card. It's just the technique that we're doing on the outside with the quilt. There we go. And there we have it. Now I am going to use some it would be easier if I brought this in closer to me than trying to reach. Those little flowers are pretty, and I think they're going to go good. Something different. I'm going to put one here and a little one on each side. Just to say hello. All right, there's our first card, my friends. And it's much easier if you cut the cat out, I promise you. All right, now I have to go back to this mess that I created. Let me get my paper cutter and a piece of white cardstock. And we're going to try it again. 5 inches by 3 3/4. Yes, those cats are really cute, Carol, I agree. All right. Let's bring some items back in here. If I can find where I put everything. Oh, over here. All right. We're going to try this again. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to be smart, turn this around, and I'm going to do this differently than I did last time. Bring it down lower, like so. Now I need to find my Post-it notes. And we need to go back to that garden green ink pad. And garden green. All right. Oops, got caught up in my wire here. I could, yeah, I could, but there was a smudge on it, so I will salvage that for another card after the video. All right, that's the garden green. Now we should be able to remove the die and add the granny apple. right. We're back at ground zero. Thanks for sticking with me. And hopefully I don't mess up again, or you guys are just going to turn me off and run in the other direction. All right. Let's get this out of here. And bring in the stamp set again. What did I do with, oh, it's been the Stamparatus. All right. There is the pot. I am just going to grab a block and stamp that. And cinnamon cider. And sorry, my big head's getting in the camera here. All right. Now, what color did I use? Pale papaya, wasn't it? I think. Do you notice I got much better coverage on that stamp that time? All right, we just filled in those dots with the pale papaya marker. And I need this image stamp. I'm going to do it with the block. Yes, I am, but I am going to put a mat under that. I just have my mat wrapped in grid paper. Not that you can see that it's grid paper, just to keep the ink off it. This time I am going to stamp this in black. And I'm going to bring in this piece of scrap and do a couple of test stamps. Actually, I'm going to clean this stamp real good. I've got my Stampin' scrub off to the side here. Just going to get in there and give it a real good cleaning because I want the best impression that I can get. Yeah, it kind of makes you look at your dies in a new way, Melanie. They're not just for cutting. All right. Wish me luck, ladies. Bueno, I'm happy with that. I am happy with that. All right. Now, the question is, do I color it with markers or do I fill it in? I'm going to color it with a marker. I'm not going to run the risk of screwing up twice. All right, I am going to grab Real Red Dark for my flowers, and I am just going to quickly fill those in. I can remember my grandmother having geraniums, and she always had them in her spare bedroom in the wintertime. I don't know what that was all about because I am no good with flowers, to be honest. All right. So what's everybody been working on? I know Pam has been working on owls. Anybody else care to share what they're working on while I color in these flowers? And you'll notice that there's a lot of places like right here that there is no petals. I'm just filling them in the way that I would think that they should look. It's kind of an abstract-y. It's going to be fine in the end. We won't sweat the small stuff. All right, we have beautiful flowers. Oh, you're doing flowers and blending brushes. Ooh, can't wait to see that. All right, I think I'm just going to take this garden green marker and just touch whatever these are here. This is so technical, you know. I'm just going to touch whatever these are here. All right, now I'm going to the skinny end. And I'm just going to put a little hint of color right along. Maybe I am. Do I have another garden green marker? Yes, I do. Let's see if this one works better. Oh, much better. I'm just going to put a little hint of color just down one side of each of these stems so they don't look so black. I don't use my Stampin' Right markers near enough. Ever since I got blends, I'm just obsessed. All right, I see one spot I need to fix. Right in here. There we go. All better. So, let's get all of this mess out of here so that we can see what we're doing. That's real red. That can go over there. So, my matte layer is real red. And I have to lay that down because it's going to bug me. There we go. Real red matte. See how that pops? Isn't that pretty? So, let's just put this on. Yep, we're just going to put this on flat. All right, let's see some comments here. So, I do weekend challenges every weekend for you ladies. Here is a weekday challenge. Before Friday, I want you to look at your dies and see what you got and use them as a stencil and make a card. How's that for a challenge? there's all kinds of dies out there that would be gorgeous inked. Oh, that's pretty. All right, I'm going to glue this one flat. I'm not going to put dimensionals behind it, just to be different. And we'll pop that in place. All right, before the video, I stamped this greeting that says reaching out with friendship and caring. And I used the Stylish Shapes die to cut it out. And I also cut this one out from the same die set with the intention that I'm going to do this. Now, hopefully it fits, because if it doesn't, I'm in trouble. Come on, Butterfingers. We can make it work. Yes, we can. All right, I'm going to glue this one to the first one. And then we'll only have one piece that we have to wrestle with. I love this greeting. This greeting is the reason that I purchased this stamp set, if you can believe it. I didn't purchase the dies, I just purchased the stamp set for this specific greeting. I love it. All right, and I think I am going to put that on flat as well. And if you look real close, there's a little wee smudge of ink on there. We're going to cover that up. Just like so. Just have to make sure that we're within the parameters of the card base. And now we get to make it pretty. And I think I am going to go with just basic rhinestones on this one. And I'm going to bring in my bow maker. And I've got some real red ribbon from the Real Red and Burlap combo pack. This is on the unorderable list right now, but they will be getting more back in stock. I love this stuff. It's soft as butter. I'm glad, Carol. I am glad. I love it when you step up to a challenge. I love seeing all the cards you guys make. All right, I'm going to put this little bow right on that pot like so. What do you think? Good enough? And just pretty that up a little bit. Just right there. And then, of course, who knows what I'm going to say next? Tame those tails. There we go. Zhuzh it up a little. And now we just need a few little rhinestones and we will be golden. And one there. Ta-da! There is our, what's it called? Geranium, something geranium, potted geraniums. And it's just very, very, like I said, these cards today are very, very simple. And I'll bring back in this guy that we made. And then this guy that I made last night, and I have one more to show you. This one here, and I did this one with the Seaside Bay, and I just did his legs and his beak with the marker, and then I inked it up and I stamped it, and I did the same technique. I took the blender pen and removed the blue ink from the legs and beak. So there are our cards for today. I hope that you guys like this technique. I hope you give it a try. And like I said, you can do it with any die. I mean, even taking a circle die and inking the inside of it to make a highlight in the middle of your card. That would be fun too. Or you can put a whole bunch of them on a card and just ink around them so that you have spaces where you can put greetings in. It'd be really cool. Anyway, thanks for stopping by. I have a video for you tomorrow at noon, and then I'm back again Tuesdays and Thursdays at noon Central Standard Time, Wednesday nights at 6:30. Thanks for stopping by. See ya.